Hello, Audrey.
Hi, Dr. Sid. I'm
I'm
here.
I'm good. You made it.
I did. I did. I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta get on. I have to get on.
It may be just you and me, so we'll have to see.
We will see. Oh my goodness, where is everybody?
I don't know. It's Sunday afternoon.
I know Sunday's a day that, as I said, it's my day of, I came from church and usually I will relax with the family and just spend the time. But I said, listen, I have to meet with my professor today, so unfortunately you have to excuse me for an hour or so. So, but usually Sunday is a day that we just relax.
Right, right. Or go to ball games. Some people do that. I don't.
Yeah, some people do that, yes. But
So we'll just have to see what happens.
yes, give them a few more minutes. It's actually 5:54 right now, so let's see what happens. I'm
Right.
so sorry I missed last session. I don't know what happened. I went on, tried to get on pretty early, but for some reason, it's just saying, I was like, I hope nothing is wrong with you. I said, I hope my doctor is not sick or anything, because it was like, oh, they're waiting for your host to log on or something like that. And I said, okay, I'll give him a little time, so maybe something is happening. But then I realized, I said, no, something is definitely wrong. And I tried like 3 times, to try to get on to you.
Right. And I didn't see your email until we were done. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
because
know you were trying.
yes, because I tried calling your cell phone too. I said, oh, I don't think he's gonna answer, but I just want to reach out to let you know that I wasn't able to join the session.
Right, right. So when does your class?
Oh boy, 1 second, doctor, one
That's
second,
okay.
1 second, please. Hello, hello. Sorry about that, doctor.
Oh, that's okay. I just muted you to give you some privacy.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, I don't know. It could be your boyfriend or.
No, no, no. I don't have no boyfriend. I have a husband and 2 daughters.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I know, I know. Oh my goodness.
So now you're in New York?
Yes, I'm in New York, yes.
Okay. But you're not from New York.
No, actually I'm from Trinidad Tobago.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was born in Tobago. Yes.
My my counterpart, Dr. Pickens, is from Antigua.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay.
In fact, she's related to the prime minister.
Oh, all right.
Uh,
Okay.
her maiden name was Bird.
Bird. Okay. From Antigua. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, except that we call her the princess.
The princess.
Princess of Antigua. So,
The princess of Antigua. Okay. Yeah, I'm from Trinidad Tobago. Yeah.
so
Hmm. Well, I was I remember you were talking about you were in a coma for 9 days.
yeah.
My goodness. Wow. Did you get into an accident, if I may ask?
No, I became septic. Uh, my uh, my blood got infected,
Oh,
and so it got to all of my organs, my heart, my brain, everything.
wow.
So they had to put me in a coma in order to fix me.
Okay. My goodness.
And yeah, it was by the grace of God
Oh,
that
God. Yes. Living a, oh, my goodness. Wow.
they said if they had not gotten to me by the next day, I would have been dead.
Dead. My God.
So
But there is a God. There is a God, doctor. There is a God.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do know about God.
Yes.
Um, but yes, I went afterwards to see my doctor
Mm-hmm.
about something, and I said, I said, uh, could this kill me? And the doctor said to me, look, he said, God already had his opportunity. If he really wanted you, he would have taken you.
Taking you exactly. So you see, your mission is not done yet. So you have something else that needs to be accomplished.
That's what everybody tells me. So my
Yeah.
mission is to get Audrey Birchwood through
Yes.
edTPA.
Yes.
Uh, so when does your course start, Audrey?
My course, my edTPA, it's supposed to start, I think, the 14th, I think, of September. Yes, that's when I'm supposed to.
Oh, September. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So you have a little bit of time yet.
Well, right now I have my last class. I'm finishing up. I have like 3 more weeks. And yeah, my
What
last class.
what class are you in?
That's what is it again? Is it ECH? Ooh, how come I forgot it? 1 second. What's the class again? ECH. Isn't that a shame? Oh.
Well, what's it about?
640. It covers all the social sciences, math, also math, English language learning, yes, the
Cool.
introduction to,
Okay.
yes, it covers everything. That's the last class. So I have to do lesson plans. Actually, that's what basically the class is about, doing lesson plans. So I had to, right now I have a social studies lesson plan that I have to do. Yes, and I did math. I did a math lesson plan, and I also did what was the other one? Math and yeah, the social studies is to do this week, and I also
Good.
did um.
So while you're doing those,
Mm-hmm.
be thinking about edTPA.
Yes, yes.
Thinking about how you can expand on those to make them your 3 to 5 lessons.
Right. Doctor, I have a question too, because I'm a little, I just want to get it clarified.
Okay.
No, I know we have to do 3 to 5 lesson plan, but it says you have to be consecutive. So it's going to be one lesson plan if I do one, okay, take for instance, if I do a math lesson plan,
Right.
and I pick on a topic, do I have to continue that same topic? Is that how it goes, or is separate topics for the math?
No.
Uh-huh.
Same topic.
The same topic.
Right. You're going to focus laser-like on one. Hi, Mandy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
I just wanted to acknowledge your presence. So, Audrey, you want to focus on 1 or 2 learning goals, and that's it. So,
Okay.
if we're going to do addition, you need 3 to 5 lesson plans on addition.
Oh.
And don't mess around with anything else, because one of the biggest issues that we have found, you know, we're now getting numbers back from edTPA about how our students are doing and what they're missing. And one of the most frequent mistakes that students make is that they don't focus in on their learning goal. They drift away from it.
Okay.
So if you're talking about, if your learning goal is addition, addition and subtraction in math, then don't talk about math vocabulary or math multiplication.
Okay.
Any of that, because they will shoot that right back.
Okay. You know what? Maybe they didn't fully understand it, because I was thinking exactly what exactly are they looking for, you know. So maybe they didn't fully understand themselves what exactly they had to do, you know.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. Or sometimes, you know, we think of things like if you're doing an English unit, and your learning goal is, I want the students to be able to understand the plot, okay? And then you do a whole lesson on vocabulary. You may think that that's really part of your 3 to 5 lessons, but that's not your learning goal. Unless you put in a learning goal that says the students will understand the vocabulary of the book.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So you've got to stick directly to the learning
goals. Okay.
That's right. And don't add or take away from that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doctor, for explaining that. Thank you.
No problem. Mandy, any questions?
No.
Okay. You sound far away.
Oh no, I'm here.
Okay. And when does your class start, Mandy?
My class starts in 2 weeks, and I'm meeting up with one of my student teachers, my cooperating teacher, on Thursday.
Oh, very nice. Okay, and you're also in New York?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know that we expect anybody else today, so I think that we'll go ahead and get started. I promise this will be shorter than last time. Well, shorter than the first time. And a lot of it, remember, we don't have to go over some of the fundamentals. Both of the other Zoom meetings are up in the PAST room under the Zoom meetings forum.
Okay.
Although I have to tell you, one person said that I read too slowly and never came to the point. I did not write back or anything, but you know. Okay. I do read slowly. I tend to do that. All right. Now, again, we're going to use the same format we did before. What do you need to think about? What do you need to do? And what do you need to write for task 3?
Okay, this is task 3 we're doing, right?
That's right.
Okay.
This is the last one. I'm thinking this may be my last Zoom meeting until we get into our courses. Okay. In task 3, you will analyze the focused learner's progress toward the learning goal and his or her use of communication skill. Before you begin the analysis, you need to think about the following. How will you gather evidence and make sense of what the focused learner has learned? How will you provide meaningful feedback to the focused learner? How will you identify evidence of and explain the focused learner's understanding or use of the communication skill to participate in learning tasks and/or demonstrate learning related to the learning goal? How will you use evidence of what the focused learner knows and is able to do to plan next steps in instruction? Okay, so essentially, in assessment task 3, what you're going to be doing is taking a step back and analyzing the progress of your focused learner to the learning goal. So you're going to analyze your own teaching, okay? That doesn't mean that you're going to repeat everything that you did. You know, another narrative about, well, first I did this, and no. It's going to be about why did you do the things you do, okay? And how did they work? What do I need to do? Use the baseline data, the daily assessment records, the work samples from the learning segment to analyze the focused learner's progress toward reaching the lesson objectives for the learning goal. Address the focused learner's strengths and continuing needs in your analysis. Now, remember the baseline data is going to be your pre-assessment, right? Your daily assessment records will be your notebook and any formative assessments that you do. And the work samples will be things that the focused learner worked on, okay? And so you're going to show how you provided feedback to the focused learner. So these are the ways that you are going to show that your learner met the learning goal, and you're going to analyze how you helped the learner do that. Okay? Stop me if you have questions. So you're going to submit a copy of the baseline data. So that's going to be your pre-assessment and your post-assessment. The completed daily assessment record for the focused learner for all lesson objectives. Each daily assessment record should include the relevant lesson objectives. So if you use more than one lesson objective, you are responsible for making sure that the student has met all of those learning objectives. So probably what would not be a good idea to do? Try not to have 45 learning objectives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the lesson objectives, 2 or 3 lesson objectives are fine, because you're going to have to use student work to prove that the student mastered it.
Mm-hmm.
Learning goals, if you're doing special ed, then your learning goal is going to be based on the IEP anyway. And so that's not going to be hard to determine. But if on the IEP you find 4 or 5 learning goals, only choose 1 or 2. Don't try to do all 5. Okay, because you don't want to make this longer than it needs to be. The more you choose, the more complicated it gets.
Yes.
Okay, what do I need to do? Submit one work sample analyzed to help illustrate the conclusions you reach in your analysis. The work sample should be the work of the focused learner alone, not a product constructed as part of a group.
Okay.
If the learning goal is knowledge or skills related to literacy, math, social studies, or science, then the work sample should be a test, performance assessment, or assignment from the learning segment. So it is not enough to simply turn in an exit ticket here, okay? They want you to analyze some kind of a work sample. It should not be something that they did in concert with anyone else. So if you're going to have your kids make a poster, you can't use that, because edTPA then can't really determine which is your students and which was done by everybody else.
Okay.
Okay? So you can't do a play, you can't do things like that. Not, Audrey, in your case, I'm not sure you would anyway. Okay. Now, so you're going to need for this task to analyze one work sample. A work sample can be a product. It can be a test or a completed class assignment with a timestamp reference, no more than 2 minutes, for a video clip submitted in Instruction Task 2, or an additional video clip of no more than 2 minutes. So you may submit a 2-minute video to show your back and forth on this assignment. And it does not have to be part of the 20 minutes that you submitted for task 2. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Say that you give the student a test. Okay? So in order to show the test, you might want to show a 2-minute clip of you going over part of the test with your student.
Okay.
And analyzing from that. Who has a cat?
Got it,
And a dog.
That's my dog. My dog heard the cat.
If I hear a chicken next, we're done. Okay. So you are allowed to turn in an extra 2 minutes of video that shows you giving feedback to the student, okay? And you're going to use that to prove your analysis. That is not the analysis itself. That is going to be a jumping point for you to discuss how that work sample helps to illustrate the conclusions that you've reached in your general analysis of the student meeting the learning goal. Is that clear? Okay. You should not simply put that in and say, here's the learning goal in video, and not analyze what you actually did. The video is the jumping off point for your analysis. It does not constitute the analysis. Do you all understand?
Okay, so doctor, besides the test, you still have to do the 2 minutes video as well?
You can, you know what? You're gonna have a lot of video, Audrey. You know what? You weren't there when we talked about this.
Oh.
I want you to videotape everything from the first lesson to the last lesson. And the reason I want you to do that is so you have your 2 10-minute clips. And so later you can go back. You can either choose something that you've already put that's already in your 2 10-minute clips, or you can choose something else. So make sure that you take a look in the Zoom meeting forum and watch that second presentation.
Okay.
Okay? It's less than an hour. It's only 45 minutes. But that will tell you all about the videotaping.
Okay. All right.
So, but here you get to add another 2 minutes. Attach additional information related to the work sample at the end of the assessment commentary. A blank copy of the assessment corresponding to the work sample submitted, including directions, prompt provided to the focus learner, or a blank data sheet for a performance assessment, if not part of the daily assessment record. In other words, whatever you used as your assessment, your work sample, you have to put in a blank copy of it, or you have to describe specifically what the directions were and things like that. Okay? This is so that they understand what you were looking for when you made this assignment, when you assigned this performance assessment, or whatever it is. If it's a test, put in a blank copy of your test. Okay?
Okay.
If it's your pre-test and your post-test, put in a blank copy of those. Or they're usually the same. So put in a blank copy of that. Now, if you gave directions verbally, then what you're going to do is put in a transcript of that, okay? And that's no more than 5 additional pages. Okay, submit the feedback. You gave the focus learner for the assessment from which the work sample comes. You must submit evidence of the actual feedback provided to the focus learner, not a description of the feedback. The feedback can be provided as part of a work sample, as an audio clip, or as a video clip. If you submit a work sample as a video clip or feedback as a video or audio clip, comments made by you or the focus learner cannot clearly be heard. Attach a transcript of your comments. Okay. So they don't want you to describe the feedback to your student. You have to show it, which is why you're probably going to want to add the videos. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can't say, I gave the paper to the student and showed the student what the student did wrong. He or she did the problem again and was correct. You can't do that. Okay?
Okay.
To show it.
Show it. Okay.
In the video, you have to show real time. That's what they say now. Real time. What happened? You can't just describe it. And that's better for you anyway, because people can describe whatever they want to describe. That's why they want to see it. Okay? Provide evidence of the focus learner's use of expressive receptive communication skill identified in planning task 1 for participating in learning tasks and or demonstrating learning. You may choose evidence from the video clip submitted in instruction task 2, an additional video clip from within the learning segment, or the learner work sample submitted in assessment task 3. So again, if you're looking for communication skill, what's the best way to show that?
It's through a video clip, I guess.
Through the video clip, right.
Yeah.
Mandy, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Good. It's through the video clip. Because that way they can see the interaction.
Yes.
Can the student express? Does the student understand what you are saying to him or her? Okay?
Yes.
So that part of it, you may also choose from within your video clip, or you may use an additional video clip. However, probably you're going to have that in your 2 10-minute videos already. So you need to provide evidence that you were able to describe the issue to the student and that the student was able to receive it and express back to you what they did, right or wrong. Okay? So what we really call this, in a sense, is holistic feedback, right? When I do papers for GCU, when I correct papers, I don't just write on the bottom, nice job. And no professor should.
Right.
We have to write, here's what you did correctly. Here's what you may want to think about. Okay?
Yes.
And so this is the same thing here. And then the response, the receptiveness, the expressiveness would be that the student is able to express back to you what you were looking for, and then apply it to whatever it is that they were doing. So it's got to be like a conversation. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
You may add an additional video clip of no more than 5 minutes in length. Remember, keep your eye on the ball here, because this is a little bit of a confusing task. It's most students in our information that we've gotten back from edTPA find this the most difficult task. Because remember, with all of these little parts going on, the goal is to analyze how your student learned. Okay? It's kind of a self-analysis. And all of these little parts that we're talking about provide evidence for that analysis. Okay. In assessment task 3, you will write a commentary responding to the prompts. Your commentary should be no more than 8 single-space pages, including the prompts. Attach the additional information related to the work sample for the learning goal, no more than 5 additional pages. And if necessary, a transcription of inaudible comments, no more than 2 additional pages. These additional pages do not count toward the commentary page limit noted above. Okay. What do I need to write? So here is specifically what you're going to be asked to write. So hopefully this will help put this in focus for you. Okay. Analyzing the focus learner performance. Cite evidence from the baseline data, daily assessment records, and work sample as needed to clarify or illustrate your summary and analysis. So you're going to do a summary. This is what I did. And then you're going to analyze why that worked. So this is really a 2-stage process. Okay?
Okay.
You sound confused, Audrey.
I'm just trying to get all this in. I was like, oh my goodness, it seems like just...
I know. It's, you know, it's interesting. We do the same thing when we write dissertations. Chapter 4 is your summary of what you did. Chapter 5, you have to analyze what you did. And so this is high-level stuff, okay?
Okay.
2, feedback to guide further learning, okay? 3, evidence of use of the expressive receptive communication skill. Use concrete examples from the focus learner's work sample or an additional video clip as evidence. Using assessment to inform instruction. Now, this is a piece that people get very confused about. So listen carefully. Consider what you know about the focus learner and the effectiveness of your instruction and the learning environment when designing next steps related to the learning goal. Connect your next steps to research. So this is asking you to do 2 things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's one of those things? Anybody?
One of it is making sure that you do research, get research information to back up what your learning environment steps are.
Okay, you're very close. You're very close, Audrey. Mandy, what do you think?
I think one of the things is knowing about what your the instruction of how your focus learner learned in the learning environment.
Good. And what are you going to do with that information?
To figure out what to teach next as related to the learning goal.
Exactly. You are looking ahead. And once your unit is done, say you do 3 to 5 lessons, Audrey, on addition.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the next learning unit that you would start with your student and why? Okay?
Okay.
You need to connect the why to research. So you need, at the end of this, and it kind of makes sense to do it, you need to project ahead. What would say you're not teaching just a week of student teaching, are you?
No.
No. So what would be your next unit with this student and why would you go there?
Okay.
Would it be more multiplication? Would it be multiplication? Would it be subtraction? Would it be whatever? And cite research that explains why you're doing it. So if you were going to go from addition to subtraction or something like that, okay, what kind of research could you cite? I'll give you a hint. It's used in both education and construction.
Kind of.
Starts with an S.
Oh boy.
They put this up on buildings when they're redoing them.
Staff?
Scaffolding.
Scaffolding, exactly.
Scaffolding.
So if you were going to move from addition to subtraction or to multiplication or whatever, one of the research theories you might use is scaffolding, how one skill builds upon the next. Oh boy. Audrey, it sounds like the aliens have landed in your backyard, so I'm muting you. So That's what it means by connect your next steps to research. It's not that difficult to do once you think about it, okay? So you have scaffolding, you have, Maslow's basic needs. You have all of these basic educational research ideas that you can use to provide the rationale for how you would proceed next. Scaffolding for me would be a big one. We've accomplished this, and now using that same knowledge, we are going to build upon it for the next steps. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So, see, I told you, we're going to be very short tonight. So here are once again, our rubrics. Remember, in New York, they start scoring you at level 3. In New York, I would look at level 4 and level 5. Try to do the best that you can. How does the candidate demonstrate an understanding of the focused learner's performance with respect to the learning goal? Okay. And so this is what you would need to write. What type of feedback does the candidate provide to the focused learner for the learning goal? So level 3 would be feedback related to the learning goal is specific and focus on either needs or reinforcing strengths. You want to do both. You want to reinforce strengths, and you want to, include the challenges, the needs. But remember here, specific. That's why you want to use the video clip, because then they can see specifically what you did. And for 5, you make sure there are connections to prior learning or experiences.
Okay.
Okay. Learner use of feedback. How does the candidate provide for the opportunities for the focused learner to understand and use the feedback? Expressive receptive communication skill, we talked about that. Using assessment to inform instruction. How does the candidate use conclusions about what the focused learner knows and is able to do related to the learning goal to plan the next steps in instruction? And notice here you have provide logical, well-sequenced instructional strategies to address specific identified needs for the focused learner and are logically connected to the current instruction. Level 5 uses analysis to describe implications for the focused learner's IEP or curriculum. So remember, it gets higher the more that you use research. Next steps are justified with principles from research and or theory. And here you relate the next steps to the focused learner's IEP. Okay, very important, cite your sources. And then align instruction with state standards. As part of the assessment, you will document the alignment of your lesson plans with any academic content standards or alternate standards. Okay? In other words, keep your focus on your state standards, your learning goal, your objectives, and your lesson plans. They should all be a straight line. Okay, and here we are again, the clinical practice mentors. At your service. Okay. So I know that this was relatively short, but it was also relatively complicated. So let's see if we can quickly, we'll break it down into its components, okay?
Okay.
Number one, you're going to provide evidence that the student has learned based on your teaching. Number two, you're going to take a work sample and analyze why that work sample was effective. And number three, you are going to plan what would happen next and justify that with research. Does that make it a little bit easier?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Now, all of those have details and parts and all of that sort of thing. But that basically is what you're going to need to do.
Okay. Dr. Sid, number two, take work sample and what?
Take the work sample and analyze it.
Analyze it. Okay.
Right. That doesn't mean just saying this was a good assignment.
Yes.
How did it help the student?
Mm-hmm.
Even things like, as you can see, the student was engaged in this assignment, etc. How was the student engaged?
Okay.
Things like that. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
Okay. Other questions. Now, this is not your last time when you can ask questions. As I've said to you, whether you are in one of my classes or not, my job in the College of Education as a clinical practice mentor is to be available for edTPA students at any time, before, during, and after your courses. Okay?
Okay, Dr. Sid.
If you need help, don't hesitate to contact either myself or Dr. Pickens. Okay. Any other questions? So if we get off this Zoom meeting and you have other questions, because when we get off, one of you will definitely have a question. That's what happens to me every time. Okay? Feel free to email me, or you can get in touch with me through the PLN. Just send me a message there. I will get it either way. Okay. I will let you go back to your Sunday evening activity. And
okay, doctor, thank you.
If you
this was the last session, right?
This is it.
This is it. Okay.
There is no task 4 here, so you only have 3. Unless you're elementary, you only have 3 tasks. So very good. Well, have a restful 2 weeks before your courses start. And the course room, the PAST room, will remain open for you. We don't close those down. And so if you need anything, just let us know.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sid.
Okay.
And also for the certification, we have to provide the score report to your the course instructor for your student teaching.
You know what? You're going to get a certificate of completion. And so in your first week, you should provide that to your course instructor.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that people finish the PAST course. because it gives you a lot of information that otherwise we're going to have to fill in, or your course instructor is going to have to fill in as you go through your course. And it's just easier to do it this way for us and for you. So just let them know that you have the certificate, or send it to them. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Sid. Okay.
Very good. Well, have a good evening. And as they say, there you go. All right. Good night, everyone.
Okay, Doctor. Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay,
so much.
Mandy. Bye, Mandy.
Okay, bye, Audrey.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Good luck to you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
To everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Doctor. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.